Hey guys, I've reviewed the OneBlade before and I've shaved off my entire beard with it. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. In this video, you're gonna see how I'm gonna use just the Philips OneBlade and a comb to trim and groom my beard. Alright guys, before we get started, a general tip. If you do have a beard, then make sure that you wash, dry, and style it as you normally would before you go ahead and start trimming it. Don't do it right after getting out of bed or stepping out of the shower, because you're gonna risk cutting off more or less than you'd actually want. Alright, first things first. If you wear long hair like me, then make sure to grab yourself a rubber band and tie it up, because you don't want the OneBlade hitting any of your locks of hair and getting rid of it. So let's go ahead and do that first. Alright, let's first comb the beard. So guys, this is just an ordinary trim that I do twice a month. It's a maintenance trim. I wear a medium-sized beard and I'd like to keep it that way because my hair tends to become very wavy and curly. Alright, let's start with the sideburns and reduce the width that we see here, because you don't want your beard to grow sideways. To do that, use your OneBlade and use a guard, and it's always better to use the biggest guard, which is 5mm, and make your way down, but not the other way around, because you can't get hair back that you've trimmed off. Alright, I've put the 5mm guard on it, and make sure that you don't trim up into the beard, but down along the beard, so with the grain. That way you're going to cut off less, because if you dig right into it, it's going to take off a huge chunk of your beard. Alright, let's go ahead and start doing this on the sideburns. So it's the top of your sideburn all the way to the bottom of your earlobe. So in my review of the Philips OneBlade, where I removed my entire beard with the OneBlade, I actually said that if you did wear a beard, it'd still be useful, but I only said it would be useful to clean up the cheek area and the neck. We'll be doing that today as well, but after having the OneBlade a little longer after that video, I realized you could use it to actually trim your beard as well, and that's what you'll see today. And now we're going to go to the 3mm. And now since this is shorter and you want to create a fade effect, so you want it to be shorter up here, and as you go down you want it to be longer. So you get that tapered look, or also called a fade. So for the 3, you're going to want to do the middle of your sideburn, so kind of at the top of your earlobe to the bottom of it. Only that piece, right? And you don't want to go lower than that. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, and now the 1mm. You also want to use a brush regularly to wipe away any of the hair stuck in the OneBlade. And I do this dry. You can use the OneBlade wet as well. But when you're trimming a beard, you want to keep it dry. And comb regularly to get rid of any excess hairs. Alright, 1mm. And now you want to take it at the top of your sideburn to the top of your earlobe. So basically we've split it into 2 different parts, so the top of your sideburn and the bottom. And so you want to go with that top bit with the 1. So then you've got that faded. And when you do this initially, try not to push too hard onto your beard. Try to do it lightly, see how much hair is actually coming off, and then push further down as you would need. Now the next thing we're going to do is reduce the bulk on the sides of my beard over here. So on the cheeks as well as a bit on the chin. So that's where it usually gets wavy with length. So I'm going to reduce that using the 5mm guard first. Always start big, guys, because you don't want to take off too much. And apply pressure gradually. You don't want to push into the beard immediately. And again, with the grain. And at this point, right, when you wear a medium-sized beard like myself, the guards that are supplied with the OneBlade are just not going to cut it for you to go in deep. So what I generally used before this was ordinary hair clippers, since they go up to 20 plus millimeters. So with the supplied guards that you get with the OneBlade, you're going to have to apply less pressure and also use the 5 millimeter guard at all times when you're going into the bulk of your beard. The only time that I use the smaller guards is at the sideburns and sometimes the neck area as well, which you'll see in a bit. Alright, as you can see, I'm also going into the chin area and below the beard because I want a more boxed off, straight kind of beard. I don't want too much beard hanging down from my chin, but I also do want it to be rounded off. So we're going to do that. We're going to go underneath the beard as well, lightly with the beard. Make sure you're keeping it straight and apply pressure gradually. And it'll also help if you move the guard as I've placed it right now. This is nice when you're trimming the sides of your beard and the chin area. But when you go below, you'd want to flip it around because then it'll make it easier to trim this way towards your neck. What also helps is just using your hands to loosen up the beard and straighten it out so you kind of see where the length is at. What I also like to do is remove the guard entirely and use the OneBlade directly. You got to be careful with this because this is a bit more freehand. And as you saw, I loosen up the beard hairs using my fingers, and then I can kind of see the gradual line of the beard. And if there's anything sticking out or isn't in the shape of the beard that I'd like, I'll use this and I'll turn it around this way and I will trim off the hairs that are sticking out. So let's go ahead and do that. Putting the 5 millimeter guard on again, since I'm seeing a lot of hair down on the sides over here. I'm going to trim that down with this. If you are growing out your mustache and you have some length over here, make sure you lift that up before you trim down, otherwise it's going to take a chunk off your mustache as well. So if you want to trim down, so basically you want to have a faded look at the neck beard as well. So you're going to have a short skin basically around the neck below the beard. And as you go up, you want that to be longer. And as you get to the chin, that's the longest point of your beard. So just above the clean shave, which I haven't done yet, which I'll do in a minute, I'm going to use the 3 millimeter guard to trim that down. Combing your beard towards your neck will give you an indication on how much, what the length of your hair is. What I also do is I use the OneBlade to shave the neck below the beard. Because I've already got a line of my beard where I want it to be, I just got to use it as I'd normally shave around the neck area. So let's go ahead and do that. So what also helps is just to pull up your beard to see the line, so you don't take off more. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, I just go freehand with the OneBlade without a guard around the edges, or let's say the corners of the neck beard, which would generally stick out, and I get rid of those as well, just to round off the beard. As you can see, the neck has been cleaned up the corners as well. All right, now we're going to do the cheek area and the mustache. We're going to do this freehand again without a guard, but do note the OneBlade is one hell of a shaver. So when you do the cheek line, make sure you take it step by step and you don't go in closer to the beard itself. If you do, then you're going to cut off a whole chunk of your beard. It may be no point of return. So this is a beard line that I maintain on a daily basis, so I'm not going to have to change the shape of it at all. Just go over the smaller hairs that I see around it and clean them up. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, now for the mustache. I'm not going to do much to it because I generally like the length of my mustache, but I don't want the mustache hairs coming into my mouth. So in order to do that, I'm going to clean up the lip. And before you do that, make sure to comb down the mustache hairs onto your mouth. Alright, and it's important now that you don't make any kind of weird faces or shapes with your mouth. Keep it as you would normally have it, so give it your best poker face, and use the serrated edge of the OneBlade in a sideways motion along the contour of your lip to cut off the length. And you're going to do that starting from the middle to the edge of the lip, and the same thing on the other side. Alright, and what I also like to do is shape up the mustache around this area. Keep it a nice rounded shape. So just gotta clean that up as well. And if you find it a bit daunting to use the OneBlade around your mouth area to get that upper lip cleaned up, you could just use a small pair of scissors or mustache scissors, as I like to do as well. So just get yourself one of these for the mustache. It's also useful to get rid of some of the hairs that the OneBlade misses. Alright, you just want to comb and check if your beard looks okay. Alright, looks good. Now, I always recommend to finish off with some beard oil, because as you shave, as you put your fingers through it, as you comb it, it's going to lose a lot of moisture. So let's replenish that with a couple of drops of beard oil. If you do have a beard or you're planning on growing one, I highly recommend getting yourself beard oil or a beard balm. And the purpose is not to just hydrate the beard hairs, but actually the skin underneath, because it doesn't get the attention it should be getting. So it moisturizes it and avoids getting dry. And guys, when you do trim, I mean, you could do this forever. You could keep, you know, cutting here and there. I'd say if you're generally happy with what you've taken off, you know, sleep on it, leave it as it is, come back the next day, because depending on the climate, how you've styled it, many other factors, your beard could look different. So if there's anything the next day that you want to change, then go ahead and do it. But don't keep going at it for too long. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. This kind of made me like the OneBlade a lot more because it makes it more versatile. It's not only for shaving or a short stubble beard, but even for a medium beard like myself, it is very useful. And I don't use my hair clippers anymore. I just use this to do my maintenance trim, you know, once, twice a month, and I'm good to go. And this shouldn't take you longer than about 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how long you want to spend on it. But if you're okay with it, you just go, and then on a daily basis, just keep those cheek lines, the neckline, and your mustache area cleaned up, and you're good to go. So if you plan to get yourself a OneBlade, do check the links in the description below, and feel free to use them because they won't cost you anything extra, and it helps out the channel a little bit. If you guys want to see more videos like this, smash that like button and leave me a comment on what you'd like to know. You've been watching a really long beard video,
and we've been DHRME.
And if you guys don't believe that any beard came off, here's the proof.